Hi students, welcome to all 4 e-learning chemistry classes for second year. The running chapter is organic chemistry and now we are in session number 44. In previous session we discussed about the properties of ethers, aliphatic ethers in general. That too specifically we are concentrating on the reaction of different types of alkyl ethers with HI. And in HI we can consider the dilute HI or we can consider the concentrated HI. And there just we have observed that with concentrated HI both the alkyl groups will form alkyl iodides and water molecule will be eliminated, whereas with the dilute HI one alkyl group will form the alkyl iodide and the other one will convert into alcohol. In such a case, what are different ethers we have to consider, and then with that one what is the mechanism, what is the product, all these we discuss, is it not? And now just we have to consider one more compound in this chapter, that is a simple one. It is nothing but anisole, that is nothing but aromatic ether, a simple aromatic ether, anisole. And how it is prepared in normal course as usual, by applying the Williamson synthesis we can consider the preparation of this. Already we discussed that one, but as a special case again here we are going to discuss about that and its properties with the HI, how it is reacting, and any other aromatic reactions, that is nothing but hallucination, nitration, Friedel-Crafts alkylations, all these different reactions, how this R group that present on benzene ring will affect for further electrophilic substitution, that we have to discuss. Okay, let me start with this one. It is nothing but methyl phenyl ether. Methyl phenyl ether it is. Why it is methyl phenyl ether? Because methyl, it comes first in alphabetical order. Methyl phenyl ether. Simply it is known as anisole, or it can also be considered anisole. It can also be considered as methoxybenzene. Actually this is the correct name in IUPAC term, but anisole, which is the common name, is also adapted into IUPAC system. Adapted name, just you remember, IUPAC name is this one. This is methoxybenzene, and in this methoxybenzene, by using Williamson's synthesis, how we are preparing this Williamson synthesis, it is nothing but we are using alkyl halide as substrate and the alkoxy group, that is sodium or potassium alkoxy group, as the reagent. Here the possibilities, let us consider, if we are considering chlorobenzene, that is nothing but aryl halide as the substrate and methoxy sodium. If we consider, this is one type of pair where we can expect the formation of that methoxybenzene, and the second one is nothing but, here we are considering methyl chloride or any halide plus sodium phenoxide. It is nothing but sodium phenoxide. If we considered, of these two pairs, which is of useful in preparing this methoxybenzene, we have to consider. And as per previous discussions, if you are having the idea, here the bond between carbon and this chlorine is getting double bond character because of the lone pair contributing for the conjugation. That's why when it is of getting double bond character, automatically it is unable, it is a strong bond. This methoxy is unable to break that bond when it is directly, this halogen is directly linked to benzene ring, is it not? And thereby in this case we can't expect the reaction to proceed. So the one and only source is nothing but this methyl chloride when reacted with sodium phenoxide. This bond can be easily cleaved and now it is forming methoxybenzene. Just you observe, even though we studied with all the other substrates and reagents, we studied this, but here as a special case when we studied, you can have some clear idea, more clarity on this one. Just you observe why this type of compound, along with this one some other compound is also there, that is nothing but a vinyl halide. Vinyl halide CH2CHCl, it is also having this same type of scenario, and there also we can't prepare, is it not? So anyhow here we have to prepare methoxybenzene. That methoxybenzene can be prepared in Williamson synthesis by taking methyl chloride and sodium phenoxide. In case here, if we are considering or if we are taking ethyl chloride and it is treated with sodium phenoxide or potassium phenoxide, whatever it may be, you can use any of these two, and now it is giving ethoxybenzene. Just you remember ethoxybenzene, and this ethoxybenzene, it is anisole common name, and it is taken into IUPAC or methoxybenzene. This is phenol. Just you remember phenol is nothing but ethoxybenzene. Ethoxybenzene is otherwise known as phenol. Clear? And now here you may get some idea, that is nothing but some doubt, that is nothing but related to this phenoxide. When it is of having this ethyl chloride, if you observe, it is having beta hydrogen. Just you observe, this is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon. Then simply you may recall that, so when it is of alkoxy group, that is phenoxy group, it may behave like nucleophile as well as a base. When it is behaving like a base, automatically when there is beta hydrogen, no doubt at all elimination can be expected. But here if you observe, this phenol, which is considered to be of acid, is more acidic than H2O. It is more acidic than H2O. So automatically this conjugate base phenoxide is less basic than OH. Already in GOC we learned that all these bases which are of more than OH and less than OH basic character, they are only nucleophiles, they are unable to create any elimination, is it not? But when it is less than OH, automatically it can behave only as nucleophile but not a base. That is the reason, even though here beta hydrogen is present, this phenoxide is unable to create elimination. Reason is nothing but phenoxide is less basic compared to OH minus. So when it is less basic, when it is more basic, when it is even OH is unable to create elimination. So when this phenoxide is even less basic than OH, then automatically it is unable to create elimination. That is the reason behind. Clear? And now let us move for the properties of this methoxybenzene. And when we are considering the properties related to reaction with HI, because it is one of the prominent reaction what we are studying in either groups, is it not? So here what is happening when methoxy, it is previously asked in some competitive examination, when methoxy is reacting with this HI, what are the products? They asked to guess, and here let me give that clarity, how, what are the products and how we can guess that product formation. Clear? And now it is methoxy group, and this methoxy is reacting with HI, and we know that HI we are considering as dilute HI with low temperature, and then concentrated HI with high temperature. Just you remember, actually in other cases where we are considering concentrated HI, we are guessing both these two alkyl groups are forming this methyl, that is nothing but this type of iodobenzene and methyl iodide plus H2O. Actually when compared to other, that is nothing but whether it is symmetric or asymmetric, when it is treated with concentrated, we are guessing that Ri plus R bar I will form like that. But in methoxy condition, this reaction is not possible. That means in both these two, we can expect only one kind of products. That is nothing but here it is forming phenol, and the other one is nothing but CH3I. Again, the reason here, why it is happening like that, why it is not happening, even at extremely high temperature it may happen. Generally, in normal condition, when we are considering the chemistry high temperature like that conditions, in high temperature also it is not forming. The reason is simply this, in this methoxy group, that oxygen which is of bonded to benzene ring is having two lone pairs, is it not? And one of this lone pair is contributed for the conjugative purpose. When it is used for the conjugation purpose, automatically it is of now creating double bond character. So because of the double bond character, the bond between oxygen and phenyl group, that is nothing but benzene ring, is a strong bond. Hence that bond is not in normal condition or at some elevated temperature, that bond is not supposed to be cleaved, or supposed to be that is nothing but cleaved or nothing but broken. It is not at all possible to break it, is it not? So we can expect in both these two conditions, concentrated at high temperature or diluted the HI, not HCl, it is HI at low temperature. In both these two conditions, the products are same. Phenol will form. Why only phenol? Why not methanol and phenyl iodide? It is getting double bond character. I think now you got the thorough idea about this, is it not? And now let us move some other reactions of this aromatic ether, that is nothing but methoxybenzene, with other reagents. And here it is nothing but the reactions involving benzene ring, not the methoxy or that is alkyl group that is present on benzene. Just it is at one carbon when this methoxy group is present like this. Now we tend to guess the reaction at other carbons of the benzene ring. That is nothing but related to aromatic reactions. And we know aromatic benzene, it is of very interested to go for electrophilic substitutions. So now here we are guessing such type of electrophilic substitutions, which include, one is bromination, that is nothing but halogenation. And just you remember, this bromination require just some polar solvent like CH3COOH. It need not require any Lewis acid like FeBr3 like. And next it is related to nitration under normal, and that is nothing but HNO3 in presence of H2SO4. And then it may be Friedel-Crafts reactions, and Friedel-Crafts reaction nothing but alkylations and then acylation. In all these reactions at this benzene ring. And now our question is, where this bromination or nitration or Friedel-Crafts alkylation or acylation takes place. For that purpose, to guess the nature or to guess the position where these electrophiles will attack on benzene ring, first of all we have to understand the nature of this OCH3 group towards that electrophilic substitution reactions in benzene, is it not? And for that purpose already we know this is oxygen that bonded with benzene ring, and this is having two lone pairs of electrons, and when it is contributing for conjugative purpose, this will shift the electron to this, thereby the first conjugative structure appear like this. And here that OCH3 oxygen is getting positive charge. Why so? Because it is contributing one lone pair to the carbon. And now this negative charge, when tend to occupy or to form pi bond, this will shift to this, thereby now you can observe the negative charge is concentrated at para position. And again, when this is of forming pi bond with this, it will shifted to this, and thereby we can observe this negative charge is now appeared on the second ortho position of this group, is it not? And this is, with all these you can observe that here at ortho position, here at para position, here at ortho position, the negative charge is created because of the conjugation where the lone pair from oxygen is donated for the conjugative structures. With all this negative charge, electrophile, we know electrophile is nothing but it is positively charged species. The favorable condition for this is nothing but negative charge is a favorable condition for this to attack. And now if you observe, this OCH3 is creating negative charge at ortho position. When it is shifted to this, it is creating negative charge at ortho and immediately at para and at ortho. That means for electrophile to attack an ortho and para, it is directing, and hence OCH3 is ortho and para director. Just you observe, at least if you are not able to follow or if you are not able to understand the concept when discussed in GOC, at least with a specific group we are discussing this. That's why I am asking you, at least in this trial, at least in this session, in this trial, try to understand what is the effect of such groups which are having lone pair of electrons on the atom that is directly bonded to the benzene ring. So with this one OCH3, not only OCH3, any group which is having lone pair on this, it is now contributing electron for the conjugation. In that contribution, it is creating negative charge at ortho and para position. It is nothing but just this, when it is donating, this pi bond will be shifted to this, and that pi bond shifting create negative charge. Negative charge is favorable condition. First of all, you should have clarity on that one. For electrophile, negative charge is a favorable condition. For nucleophile, it is a reverse condition. Is it not? But here electrophilic substitute, all these are nothing but electrophilic substitutions. That's why we are studying with regard to electrophile what is the nature of OCH3. Is it not? In such a case, that OCH3, because of its contribution, it is of creating negative charge, a favorable condition for electrophilic attack at ortho and para, and thereby it is of creating ortho para director, we can say. Next, how it is directing that one? Creating the favorable condition. That means simply we can say that it is a ring activator towards this electrophilic substitution, because when it is creating the favorable condition to facilitate the attack of the electrophile at particular position, it is creating the favorable condition. So when it is creating a favorable condition for a particular position to attack is nothing but activation. Is it not? So here it is activating at ortho and para. So it is ortho para director and is ring activator for electrophilic substitution. Clear? And now here you observe, actually in benzene ring, when halogenizations are taking place, simply we tend to use the Lewis acids like AlX3, and when it is a Br2, we can use AlBr3. Is it not? But here we are not using such type of Lewis acid. Why? Because this activation is sufficient to create, in presence of this less polar solvent, that activation is able to create positive charge on bromine, polarization on bromine. So that much of activation will happen in benzene ring. If the benzene ring is not getting sufficient activation, then we can use Lewis acid. But here its activation is sufficient. That's why instead of Lewis acids, we are using polar solvent like CH3COOH. I think now you got the idea. So activation when more than expected, we need not use these Lewis acids. Clear? That is the reason. Now with all this explanation, now let us guess what are the products with the different reagents. Like in bromination, what are the products, and in nitration, what are the products, and in alkylation and acylation, what are the products. It is normal course, just you can observe, and I am going to write all these products in equation form. That's all. We need not, there is no much discussion on this. And as you know, when both ortho and para positions are activated, both these two products we are assuming, but of these two products, which is major, you know, it is nothing but para product. Why? At ortho position, some steric factor is there. OCH3 is the steric group, is it not? Because it is a bulky group, it is not small group, it is a bigger group, and because of that bulkiness, it is retarding. That is nothing but it is rejecting some sort of attack at ortho position because of that bulkiness. So now here it is methoxybenzene when treated with bromine in presence of protic solvent CH3COOH, it is creating bromination at ortho position plus at para position. And just you remember the para position bromination, bromo that is p bromo inosol is forming 90%, that is nothing but the major product. Similarly for nitration, it is nothing but bromination. And next one, nitration. In nitration, what is happening? Let us write this equation. In nitration, this anisole when treated with nitric acid in presence of H2SO4 is able to form orthonitro and paranitro products. But of these two, just p-nitro is the major product. Clear? And now again it is Friedel-Crafts alkylation. Friedel-Crafts alkylation. It is when methoxy group CH3, or for your convenience sake, let me write instead of here, as usual in all the remaining cases, here also that is present at this position, and now it is RX. It is treated with AlX3 Lewis acid, and this is creating at ortho position this alkyl group. Alkylation may take place at para position. Again here also this is the major product. Clear? And now the last one, that is nothing but acylation. Friedel-Crafts acylation. How we can create acylation? Do you know the acylating agent? Simply acylating agents are nothing but acyl chloride or acetyl chloride, or you can also use acetyl acetic anhydride for acetylation. These two are the reagents used for acylation. In presence of AlCl3, when it reacts, it is forming ortho acylated group and para acylated group OCH3. Here also the acylation will take place, and it is the major product as usual. Like that, in all these cases OCH3 is ortho and para director, and para position, para product is the major product, because at ortho some sort of steric is there. That is about the preparation and properties of aromatic ether. Clear? And in coming session we are shifting to the other homologous series, that is nothing but carbonyl compounds, a major group among these different homologous series present in our second year syllabus. It is carbonyl group, which includes both aldehydes and ketones. Clear? It may continue. It is of having different types of reactions, and we can observe all types of different reagents that are introduced in carbonyl groups also. So thereby I suggest you to go through those, even though you are going through all these videos also in a concentrate mode. There you have to pay some more concentration. Clear? I am going to explain all these again from the beginning, from the naming inception. You can, even though you are not having whatever the campus you are attending for this video classes, just you go through this one. Even you are having only a less knowledge related to naming or isomerism regarding the carbonyl groups and the reaction mechanisms related to that, you need not worry. Even you are starting from this itself, you can understand all the topics if you follow the sequence of the video sessions. Okay, thank you.